Hi, my name's No Shit, so I'm guessing I'm Shubham. Spurs Via Podcast. I'm going to give a shout out to a lovely young lady called Sharmin Jahan Huck. She has a business called Anoka Touch, and they do these absolutely beautiful little fruit and vegetable baskets. So if you're having Menhi's or anything to do with weddings and stuff, or you just want beautiful fruit arrangements, I mean, the girl's an artist. There's love and care and just sweetness in everything she does, and she's an amazing girl. And and plus she has the same name as first name as my favourite niece in Bangladesh, the favourite original niece in Bangladesh. So yeah. Anyway, going to be talking about all things Spurs right now. Damian, Modric, lack of activity. First of all, I want to address it a little bit, but who's been watching the Olympics? Alice Brownlee, the way he just sauntered across, broke. Oh man, that was just awesome. And that's the reason why I think things have been really quiet right now. I mean, there isn't a new story. I mean, yes, Santi Cazorla has joined Arsenal. Never really saw him play. I'm assuming he's good. I think I wouldn't have signed him, but I'm not thinking, oh man, we missed out. I mean, I think I missed out on Junior Hoylett, but to be totally fair, if we wanted to have signed him, we would have done. Yeah, we could have easily blown anything that QPR had out of the water, but we chose not to. I still don't know why we're not doing that, personally, because I think we need a right winger if Lennon isn't going to be the guy, and someone who can play inverse out. The only reason I can think of is that we play Siggy there. I think clearly we need a striker or two. I don't know what's going on with Adebayor. There's an article thing in the Mirror, and I thought take a ton of salt with that. Guys, take loads of salt with that because it's a Daily Mirror. I mean, I can understand him wanting to get his pound of flesh. I mean, he joins what he seems to be a Man City revolution. He's then basically cast aside. Mancini just doesn't want him, treats him like shit, in his mind, and quite rightly, he wants to get his pound of flesh. I can get that. Me personally, I still would like to sign Adebayor. I thought he filled a void. I mean, as a fulcrum, 17 goals, and he easily had 3 goals disallowed, which would have got us into the Champions League, ironically. So many, a lot of things. I think I think he's a great player, but wages and everything. And look, Lee's got a lot to deal with his mum being ill and everything. And I understand why guys on the Spurs Forum saying, why isn't Levy putting his finger out? I always start to think of the transfer, especially the last, 2-3 weeks, just before the beginning of the season. It's either you've got the guys who get, like the cannons and get their big shots off early, But I think it's always like, transferring is like a Mexican standoff, like the good, bad and the ugly. Everyone's like pointing guns at each other, and it's some guys have got Mat 10, some guys have got like just little pea shooters, you know what I mean? But everyone's got their guns out, because it doesn't matter if you've got a Mat 10 or I don't know, one of those piddly, I don't know, a 9mm or something. It's just, I don't know anything about guns, but it's more of a case of, my mate James Gregory knows more guns than I ever will. It's just more of a case of everyone's like thinking, oh shit, what's going to do? What's that going to do? What's that going to do next? Modric, Moutinho, Hulk, all the things. I mean, PSG, yes, they splashed big, but let's face it, they should have won the league title last year. Somehow they got, with all their billions, they still got trumped by Montpellier, who have literally no money. And I think they're leaving nothing a chance now. They've just brought Thiago Silva and Ibrahimovic, and they're flush of money. I mean, you got to thank PSG just purely because if Man City, you can't use Man City to stake up your bid. You've got PSG to do that. So yeah, you've got everything going on. I think Modric, Moutinho, everyone says Levy to brinksmanship. I think ultimately people forget that. I think Levy owns 5% or 10% of ENIC, and so bottom line is, why should he take a hit? Because ultimately it'll come down to him. Joe Lewis is more heavily involved. It's not his money. Yes, he makes decisions, and yes, he's a huge player, but Joe Lewis is a lot more involved with Spurs, and there's a lot of people that have a lot of say what's going on there. And it's not just a case of, I want that player, 20 million, 30 million. It's not a back and forth emails. A lot of deals have got to go on. Then you've got to speak to the player's agent, the managers, the lawyers. Everyone's got their finger in that pie kind of thing. Everyone's got a vested interest. So it does take time. I still want to sign Damiao. I know some guys will disagree with me. I saw Damiao play for Brazil against Scotland. Now a lot of players play better for their country than they do their club, but something about the way he held the ball up, I thought there's the raw materials there. If he can learn his craft, and like I said, sometimes I get it right, sometimes I get it wrong, but Justin Sandro, I think you look at someone, you think, there's something special about this kid, and if we can get him for £15 million, obviously that's a huge chunk of our transfer budget, and obviously you got the Modric sale, but I still like to think, if we sell JD, even if we sell, we sell quite, we've cleared a lot of deadwood. Hopefully Jenna Bentley. I mean, there's rumours going about Bailey Fail and God knows what else. Oz, Jenna Bentley, Gallas, Norton. Again, why would you sell Norton? Because you've got no other right back to compete against Kyle Walker, and you've got someone who can play as an inverse left back to back up Benny. Unless you think Zeke Fry is going to do it at the age of 20. So I don't get that personally about Norton and Gallas. I guess the age thing, but at the end of the day, Gallas has got loads of experience. Yes, he hasn't got the yard of pace he used to have, but he was never really heavily reliant on that. As the way Ledley King obviously lost quite a lot of pace, but in the way he was outmuscled by the Norwich guys, that's why he retired. Gallas has got the nous. He's played at the highest levels, so much experience. If we can get one more year out of him, I'd keep him. And it's not as if we're desperate. I mean, Corker, I think he's under 22, 23. So I think I don't know how old he is, but I'm sure he's not going to count towards the squad list, as in just put the age requirement thing. So I don't see why there's a big deal of not keeping Gallas in his final year with us. And then he goes off to the MLS or China or wherever he goes to. I still want to sign Sturridge. Yes, he missed his penalty, but the kids had viral meningitis, playing pre-season, all kinds of stuff. I still think Sturridge is a good player. 6'2", can lead the line, plays an inverse winger. He's got a lot of versatility. He can play left wing, inverse right winger, play out front. And if someone said to me, look, Damiao, Burbs, and Sturridge, and we don't get Adebayor, I wouldn't be that disappointed. The way I look at it, Adebayor plays silly buggers right now, allegedly. But and I still, even if we don't get, say, we are playing a 4-2-3-1, so we only need 3 strikers anyway, if you think about it. So you've got Damiao, or you've got Adebayor, or you've got Sturridge. And then if we need to play 4-4-2, we can do, if we need to. But I just think that we've got to be patient. It is a case of, you don't want to be the one that blinks first. It's a game of timing. And obviously Modric, 40 million. If we get him for the end, I can't imagine, Paul's not saying, well, we want 30 million for Moutinho. Again, I don't know how good Moutinho is, and those guys who see Portuguese football more than I do, maybe you can tell me how good he is. But personally, I wouldn't sell Luka Modric purely because, and I've said this once, I'll say it 1,000 times, the only 3 players I think that are better than him all play at Barca, and that's it all really. Anyway, do my shouts out to Charmin and James. I'll give a shout out to Jeremy, who had a birthday a few days ago. Great guy, and hopefully next time comes to White Hart Lane, you and I can split a sandwich together. Cheese and onion, okay with you? Anyway, please click on the ad links. Please visit spursforum.co.uk. And as always, come on you Spurs. Peace out, fanboys.